Remember, your enemy is not gonna play fair.
Hello and welcome to Leggy's Reviews. Today on the show I'll be reviewing Green Lantern, starring Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, Peter Sarsgaard, and Tim Robbins. I saw this movie last night. I gotta say it was pretty good for a summer superhero action movie that's supposedly gonna set the DC universe up for a Justice League movie. The movie's directed by Martin Cambell. He's best known for Casino Royale, the James Bond movie. Um, so let's go right into the story before we start anything. Pretty much, this is an origin story. This is how Hal Jordan came about to be a Green Lantern. So you have pretty much right in the beginning, you get Abin Sur, and he's a Green Lantern, okay, and he's tasked with capturing Parallax, who is the embodiment of fear in the Green Lantern universe. And the embodiment of fear is the color orange. So the orange energy, or the yellow energy, versus the green energy, which is the energy of willpower and hope. So you have Parallax, who goes in, he takes out Abin Sur, and Abin Sur lands on Earth, and he tells his power ring to find a worthy successor to become a Green Lantern, which in the world of this DC comic is a high honor. So pretty much then, the story shifts towards Hal Jordan. He's a fighter pilot who flies planes for Carol Ferris and her father. So they start the movie pretty good with a dogfight sequence with some jets and stuff like that. It kept me interested. Then, the ring eventually finds Hal Jordan and chooses him as the worthy successor to Abin Sur. At this point, Hal, gets the ring. He ends up on Oa, and, all this is new to him. All this is just very weird. He hasn't experienced anything like this before because he thought humans were the only people in the universe. He didn't think there were, hundreds and thousands of races and thousands of sectors of different planets that are guarded by these guardians known as Green Lanterns. So he slowly begins to find out what it's like to be a Green Lantern. At this point, he meets the main Green Lanterns, like Sinestro, Kilowog, and Tomare. Tomare, by the way, who is voiced by Jeffrey Rush. Fantastic job. And at that point, you get into this really, really quick training sort of session thing that lasts for maybe about 20 minutes, if that, of the film. And right away, then, he's sent back to Earth. He gives up on the whole Green Lantern thing because Sinestro tells him, "You're not a worthy successor of Abin Sur." And so ensues this whole Hal Jordan being a mopey little, whiny baby saying, "I'm not a hero," and then suddenly realizing and, coming to that sort of climax in the film when he realizes he can be a hero. And at that point, then you have Parallax coming to Earth, infecting Hector Hammond, who's a scientist who looks at Abin Sur's body when they find it on Earth. And then you have Hector Hammond and Parallax working together to try and take out the Green Lantern Corps and Hal Jordan. So that's pretty much the core of the story. I have to say there was a little bit of disappointment with certain sides of the story. Now, keep in mind, I'm a fan of the Green Lantern series. I'm a fan of that DC universe, but I don't know a lot about the origin of Hal Jordan. There's a couple things that did get me a little off guard. One is that Hector Hammond is supposed to have a relationship with Carol Ferris and Hal Jordan. He's supposed to know them very, very well. Like, they're like childhood friends almost. And the movie doesn't even pay homage to that. It's like, Hal and Hector exchange literally 2 lines, and you wouldn't know that they've been friends for X amount of years. So that relationship is lost in translation in this film. Not to mention that the final couple scenes of the movie were not that amazing. I was expecting a longer, sort of drawn out, epic battle sequence, which didn't happen. It was sort of like maybe 15, 20 minutes, not even probably, and then it was the end of the film. In terms of the CGI work, there's been a lot of people who have been complaining about his suit and all that stuff. I thought the CGI suit was perfectly fine. The only issue I saw myself was the mask. The mask was just a little bit too unreal to actually see it there on his face. I think next time they're better off going with something a little more synthetic. In terms of what Parallax looked like, he was just one giant cloud with a face. It was nothing impressive on that part. So Parallax was a totally uninteresting villain in my opinion, and I feel that he was the wrong villain to choose for this first movie to introduce Hal Jordan. Hector Hammond was pretty cool. You know, he had the oversized head and whatnot. His scream was really, really annoying. That was one thing that kind of got me on edge was when he screamed in agony. It was just weird. In terms of the other Green Lantern, like the Green Lantern Corps and Oa, it looked fantastic. I think they did an amazing job bringing Sinestro to the big screen. Mark Strong definitely played a good Sinestro, and I think he'd be great for the series if and when that they come out with a second one or a third one. Toma Ray, again, like I said, voiced by Jeffrey Rush, fantastic job. Kilowog, one of my favorite Green Lanterns, played by Michael Clark Duncan, which I felt was another awesome performance. The only problem with that was I think we should have seen a little bit more of Toma Ray and Kilowog because they're only in the film for maybe 10-15 minutes at most. So you don't see much of Oa, you see a lot of Earth, you see a lot of Hal Jordan moping around, sort of on that journey to becoming a hero. So the movie wasn't completely horrible. It's just, certain aspects of the film lacked certain things. Like I wanted to see more of Oa, more of Kilowog and the other Green Lantern Corps. In terms of cinematography, there was a lot of fast-paced action, a lot of moving around. The CGI was great, like I said. So in total, I'm going to give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed this film as a blockbuster movie. As a hardcore fan of the DC Universe and a fan of Hal Jordan, I'd say go watch it for the entertainment aspect of it, but don't go in there expecting true stuff to the comic books. Other than that, 7.5 out of 10, I'd say go and watch it. Thanks for joining me here on Leggy's Reviews. Join me next time when I review The Quick and the Dead.